Good morning. I have a little story to tell. It may take a couple days, but it's not a big story. I'm going to call it How Shawn and Maryellen Resurrected Resurrection. I know that doesn't make much sense to you, but it will. The story starts about a month and a half ago when a former student of mine named Shawn uh, emailed me with the news that he was going to move back to Bedford. He had been living all his adult life in or around Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but he had had enough of the city. I don't mean to editorialize it too much, but he was coming back to Bedford, and he intended to stay in Bedford for the rest of his life. I thought that was pretty interesting. That's the way he said it. And he had bought a house, and with his fiancée named Maryellen, they were going to move here and stay. Now, Maryellen is a Pittsburgh woman, born and raised in Pittsburgh. She a complete city girl. And he had to, I think, had to do some convincing to get her to accept the idea of moving out of the city. Bedford is hardly the country by my measure, but it's a town, a wonderful, nice town. Anyway, he had emailed me, and he said he wanted to come out and visit me and help me even some, and he wanted to bring his fiancée because she had never had any experience with a farm, and yet had said that she wished she had been or could be a farmer's wife. Of course, there a lot of farmers' wives would be they'd raise an eyebrow at that and maybe approach that cynically, but she wanted, and she loved animals. So I thought, well, great, good, but that was so bitter cold back then, bitter cold. So I said, well, let's wait till this brutal cold goes by, and then by all means come out as much as you want. Really, this was music to my ears, because this is what I think people should be doing. They should be getting out of the city, and if it's not a matter of going back to the country, going there. So that was great. But anyway, that was about a month and a half ago. Time passed. The weather didn't get much better. It still stayed cold. And I ended up getting this influenza A eventually. Well, about a week and a half ago, things were bad enough here with my wife and my son and myself, all three of us having this, and I've got animals to take care of. It was getting pretty bad. I really had no plan B, because my son gets hay fever in the barn, and my wife is almost as old as I am, and it's not her thing. And if I couldn't get out there to take care of the animals, what was I going to do? I didn't really have a plan B. Matter of fact, well, plan B would have been my son, as much as he could have done it, although he was sick too. Plan C would have been my wife. She would have done what she could. Maybe we would have come up with. So I was all the way down to plan D. And I thought, why don't I get back to Shawn and Maryellen and say, hey, why don't, if you can, how about coming out and at least looking around and see what's here? So at least I would have somebody else that would know where is the feed, what do I do to feed the animals, what is it about? And he said, yeah, we're going to be in Bedford that weekend, and yeah, let's set something up. We'll come out. Well, as it turned out, I had to go to Bedford. A struggle for me because remember, you can see I'm still pretty sick. I had to go to get feed, and I said, I'll be in there, and if you want to follow me out, I'll show you how to get out here. and they did. This was Saturday. This was a week ago, and so it was arranged. I went in there, and I see now. I thought I knew Shawn. I thought I knew who Shawn was, but he wasn't the Shawn I thought he was. This is trying to remember students of 35 years ago. A student 35 years ago or more. I was thinking closer to 40. But this was a different Shawn. When I got there, I realized that, but it didn't matter. And I was delighted. And so he and Maryellen, they got in their car and they followed me, and they came out, and I showed them around. This was Saturday morning. Boy, I wasn't feeling good. And the weather had not been beautiful like I thought it might have been that day. It was cold, it was windy. And I did the best I could. I was wanting to show them a pretty nice time, but they loved it, especially Maryellen. She loves chickens, and it was all very nice. And maybe that's as far as I should go in this story right now. So to be continued, but it's not going to be a big story. Bye for now.